Okay, so this last video we ended up with European exploration, and we saw how at the end of European exploration, that end of their 350 year reign of controlling those colonies that they have established in Canada, United States, Latin American area, all around Africa and ending up into Asia, the colonies that they've set up there. Those countries have declared their independence from their European home country, we'll call them. They've declared their independence from that. And those European countries are now experiencing the Industrial Revolution. Okay, they need more natural resources to manufacture goods that they're able to sell and make a profit on. So they're needing more land at this point with access to natural resources. So they look to Africa, and they are claiming land in Africa called the Scramble for Africa. If you do a Google search for Scramble for Africa, you'll see some pictures of what I'm talking about. So that controlling the land in Africa ends up leading to some tension between those European countries. Okay, they're trying to get the most land available. The countries end up developing a sense of pride, that sense of nationalism for areas that they're able to control, just the strength of their country. They end up building up their military, okay, because they have to have a way to defend those colonies, and then that competition between the European countries are causing some rivalry. Now, the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand is the official spark of World War I. Okay, assassination of Archduke Ferdinand is this guy from Austria-Hungary. He's kind of like their chancellor, or their prime minister, I guess you could say, and he is visiting Serbia. While he's there, he is assassinated. Now, all of the European countries have kind of set up a system of alliances where they indicate that the areas that they have colonized in Africa, if another European country tries to take over some of their land, then they will fight in support of each other against the country that's invading each other's land. Okay, so they have like this national buddy system, I guess you could say. And with this buddy system, once Archduke Ferdinand is assassinated, Germany supports Serbia. Okay, because that's where this Archduke Ferdinand from Austria-Hungary is visiting Serbia, is assassinated there in Serbia, and Austria-Hungary doesn't like it that their head guy is assassinated. So they are beginning to talk about threat of war. Well, Germany automatically rushes to Serbia's defense. Okay, once their alliance is come to light, Russia comes to the defense of Serbia. Now, Germany sends like a tough ultimatum to Serbia and says, okay, we're going to invade your country unless you do this, 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 and this. Okay, well, Serbia agrees to some of them, but not to all of them. And now that they have Russian support, Germany sends another letter to another piece of communication to Russia and says, stand down, okay? You need to take a step back, or we're going to start a war here. We're going to make an invasion. Russia does not stand her armies down, so Germany declares war on Russia, and that is the official start of World War I. Okay, so we have causes of World War I. One more time: imperialism, which is spreading of that empire; nationalism, that support and pride of one's country; militarism, they build up their military, okay, and then the increasing rivalry and tension between all that; the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand, which is the spark, and then Germany declaring war on Russia. Okay, so that's causes of World War I. Now, in World War I, there are several battles, there are several major things that happen, which we are not responsible for learning in 6th grade social studies. We just cover the basic, big pictures of World War I. Now, one of the things that we will talk about with World War I is the new technology of it. For the first time in war, we have things like poison gas, tanks, automatic weapons, trench warfare, things like that. Okay, that's new technology of World War I. Inside of World War I also happens the Russian Revolution. Now, Russia has doubled the size of their military. In that rivalry, that tense competition between those European countries, one of those is to increase the size of their military. So Russia doubles her size. Now, the training is not all that good. Okay, so we've got some of these farmers from these agricultural communities who are now soldiers for Russia. And Russia is not faring well in World War I. They have a lot of soldiers who are dying or being wounded, and really they can't support it any longer, okay? Almost all of the resources that they have in Russia are being sent to support the soldiers. Food resources, and military supplies, that sort of thing. Now, the people who are left in Russia are starving and freezing to death. So we've got women and children and the elderly, as well as some soldiers to support the Tsar, that's their Tsar Nicholas, okay, to support and guard the royal family. Now, these people who are left in Russia are starving and freezing to death, okay, women, children, and the elderly. And they're sick of it, okay, they cannot continue on in that manner. So they go to like the town square and they are rioting in the streets, okay, because they're fed up. Well, the soldiers who are there at the palace kind of support what these people are rioting against. Okay, I mean they're in support of them, and they, along with the people who are rioting, end up overthrowing the royal family of Russia, Tsar Nicholas and his family. If you've seen that movie Anastasia, okay, that's the time period that we're talking about. They end up overthrowing the royal family, and a new government comes in, eventually led by Stalin, okay? So Russian Revolution, that happens in 1917. The people are freezing to death and starving. They revolt and overthrow the government. That's the big idea of Russian Revolution that you're required to know. Okay, outcomes of World War II. At the end of World War II, the United States becomes involved when Germany declares unrestricted sub-warfare and ends up sinking the Lusitania. That has like 120, 130 American people on it, American civilians on it, and also some American merchant ships. When Germany does that, the United States officially joins World War I on the side of the Allies. Now, who are the Allies? Okay, and I'm going to make sure I list them all correctly. The Triple Alliance, the Central Powers is what we'll call them. The Triple Alliance, or the Central Powers, are Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy. Later on, Italy changes sides, but that's not relevant to what you have to know in 6th grade social studies. The Triple Entente, or the Allied powers, we call them allies, are France, Russia, Britain, Serbia, Belgium, and then the United States. Okay, now the United States at this point had been trying to stay neutral in this. Our President Wilson, has been sending some supplies to the United Kingdom, has not been sending soldiers, until Germany sinks the Lusitania and some other American merchant ships. Once that happens, America joins the war on the side of the Allies. Several battles take place, which again you're not responsible for knowing. But the outcome of outcome of World War I. At the end of this war, Germany is losing. They officially surrender, and they sign what's called the Treaty of Versailles. Now, the Treaty of Versailles has several stipulations. One of them is that Germany has to reduce the size of their army and navy so that they cannot go to war again on this magnitude. Okay? They reduce the size of their army and the military. They do lose some of their land, some of the empires that they have set up. They do lose some of their land. But the primary thing is that they are forced to sign this Treaty of Versailles that requires them to make reparations or payments to the Allies to help them rebuild their communities. Now, war is messy, it is destructive, it's not only a loss of life, it's also a loss of property and public utilities, that sort of things. So these war payments, these reparations, are being made to fix up the land that has been bombed and destroyed all during World War I. Okay, so Germany is forced to sign this, and they agree to make those war reparation payments to the Allies. Not happy about it, but they do. Now, next video, we'll talk about where that leads us.